Oh, yes, you do. I can tell you if you don't know. It's Sunday afternoon story time with me. I'm Chesley, and here is Karen. She's pulling my strings. You better believe I'm going to pull your strings. We're going to tell this story together. And I get to talk to the girls and the boys, and the men and the women. You get to talk to everybody, Chesley, anybody that wants to listen. Oh, I tell you something. I'm going to sing first. You want to sing. All right, let's hear you sing. It's our theme song. This gospel train is chugging at the track. Chugging at the track, it's chugging at the track. This gospel train is chugging at the track. Chugging to the glory land. That's right. Get on board this gospel train. Get on board this gospel train. Get on board this gospel train. Heading to the glory land. Gonna see Jesus. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Gonna see Jesus. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And so, get on board this gospel train. Get on board this gospel train. Get on board this gospel train. Chugging to the glory land. All right, Chesley. So that's our good song day. That's our theme song every Sunday. Well, most Sundays we sing that one. Chesley, our story today is taken from God's Word. From God's Word. That's right. And it's taken from the Old Testament in chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6. And what's he's going to do now? You know, Chesley, it's important that we work for the Lord. Can anyone do it? Anyone that wants to follow his example and do as he wants them to do, say what he wants us to say. And it's always good and helpful. Whatever he has to say is good and helpful. It's always good for us and good for those that hear. So, Chesley, it's important to be a listener. Oh, yes, it's important to be a good listener when God has spoken to someone to give us a word. And in the Bible today, it's taken, as I said, in the Old Testament, there was a king that had named Uzziah, and he had been a really good king. And he served God. Oh, he served God faithfully, and some reason, we don't know why, he decided that he would just go do what he wanted to do. And he became wicked. Oh, yes, he became wicked, and he no longer lived for God, and he wouldn't lead the people correctly. Well, anyway, he became very, very ill, and he wouldn't turn to God. He just kept on being resistant. And then what had to do with the people? Well, they weren't hearing really the truth like they should hear it. But God always has a plan, and he always has somebody that's willing to be faithful. And who can it be? It can just, Chesley, everybody can work for God, but there will be a person that needs to go and give a special message. And don't be like the prophet. Back then they had prophets that'd be something like our preachers. And so he would call some of them. Well, anyway, there was this man it was named Isaiah, and he wanted to live for God. He was one of those prophets, and he was faithful and he was true. He was faithful and true. You know the thing, dude, if you want to work for God, live for him, it's a good thing to go to his house. You like go to church? Like go to church, yes. Like you let me do sometimes? Oh, yes, like you get to do sometimes. But you and George go all the time. That's right, we go all the time. We love to go. But anyhow, Chesley, the thing was you just go when you want to. Chesley, we go when we want. We go because we want to go every single week. We want to be faithful. And you want to hear what the preacher says? We want to hear what the preacher says. But let's go back now to our story. And as Isaiah, he always wanted to work for God. So what he did, he went to the temple. And when he went into the temple, what's the temple? Well, it would be like what we call our churches. And he went in, and all of a sudden, he was just as though, he saw the glory of God, the presence of God, and he just filled the room. It was like he was almost in the throne room, almost like he was in the throne room. And it was just the presence of the Lord just filled her, and he could see this presence. He saw this huge train. The locomotive? No, it was like his robe. It was like a huge robe. Like one of them long following things. It's called a train. I thought that was a locomotive. Well, not in this case. But here it was. It just seemed to fill the temple. It was just huge. It seemed like in the presence of the Lord. And he was just almost like a smoke in there. And it was on fire? No, it wasn't on fire. But it was just such a presence of the Lord there. And he looked and he saw the Lord, as he said, high and lifted up. He was clean and pure and holy. And King Uzziah hadn't been. King Uzziah, he had been living for God, and then he stopped. and he turned, he changed, and all he could think of probably was the comparison between the earthly king that had failed, and here was the heavenly king who had not failed. Oh my, he just, all of a sudden in the presence of the Lord, I think, something, did he get kind of scared? Well, he just realized, he thought, I just feel like I'm not even clean. And he thought he wasn't very holy. Oh, yes, he felt unholy. And what can he do? Is he going to have to run out of there and cover his head and not go back? Oh, no. The Lord he saw and he knew and he wanted to see this. Somebody that wanted to work for him and wanted to be like him. You want to be clean and pure? Yes, clean, pure, and holy, and just work for the Lord. And there was a seraphim came. And what's going to do? Well, this was this angelic being that came, heavenly being came down, and he touched his lips, and he said, "You've been made clean." And God had him ready. God can always use people that are ready. They want to be like him and speak what he wants them to speak. And what I said, just certain times, Chesley, he wants us to live right and do good all the time. It doesn't matter where we are. If we're at school, or if we're on the job, or we're at home, wherever we are, we want to be like him, be an example of what God would want us to be. Well, anyway, as he had been faithful like this, and he just honored the Lord, and he was just felt so unholy, and now he just wanted to be like the Lord, and was he going to go up there with him? Well, no, he wasn't going to go up there with him. He was ready to go to work now. And then that's when the Lord called out and said, and who will go with me? Who will go for me? I need somebody to go. Who will go? Who can I send? Who will go that will preach the truth, the message that I have to give to my people? I know who it was. It was his name, Isaiah. Isaiah said, "Here am I, send me." Oh, he didn't run and hide somewhere and said, "Not me." Oh, some people will say, "Oh, not me. Let it be somebody else." I don't think I'd say the right things. I think he was ready because he knew he had been in the presence of God. He had been in the presence of the Lord, and he had opened his heart and his life, and he had said he wanted to be clean and pure, and the Lord always answered that. And so then he was ready to go. He was ready to go. He wasn't running high and saying, "Not me. Lord, I'll pray if you'll send somebody else, and I'll pray for them." He just wanted to work for God, whatever he wanted him to do. Whatever he wanted him to do, he was ready to go. And Chesley, that's our lesson today, is that we need to be ready to work for God. And what about in your own family? In your own family, that's right. That's a great place to be a good example, to be like Jesus. To just be that good, sweet, kind person all the time. Even when somebody's mean to you, even when somebody's mean to us, we don't want to retaliate. What's that do, Gordon? Well, you'd want to fight them back. What now if they're trying to kill you? Well, Chesley, if somebody's trying to kill us, we're going to try to get away. We're going to defend ourselves. But that's not what we're talking about. It's living for the Lord daily and being a good example like him. Chesley, it's a good thing to do, and it makes people happy. And the time to the happy is now, and the place to the happy is here, and the way to the happy is to make others happy, and we'll all be happy down here. And the Word of God does make us happy. And so that's our lesson today. When we come into the presence of the Lord, and you need to go regularly. Go regularly. The Bible said that Jesus was in the temple, said as was his custom. So that's something he did on a regular basis. It wasn't hit and miss. And something we have to do on a regular basis is we have to go to bed and get sleep and rest. Oh, I knew you'd come around to that. But you know something? I'm not even going to get sleepy, and I hadn't been up there long, and I have some more to say. Well, you may have some more to say. I tell you what, we can work that out. Oh, goody! Next Sunday afternoon. Oh, that is just so. Oh, it was just wicked and cruel. That was not wicked and cruel. You know it's time to go to bed. You tell everybody goodbye and you love them. I love every one of you, men, women, boys, and girls. I love everyone. And I do not want to go to bed. Oh, Chesley, it's fine for you to go to bed. I know you're feeling fine. And you're going to be doing a whole lot better if I wasn't stuck in that trunk. Oh, I'm scared. No, you're not scared. You sounding like a little sissy. I ain't no sissy. Go ahead and stick me in that trunk. I'll see you next week.